voting or mas focus na this time sa voting, no? So last time or last meeting, we are on discussing about the apportionment methods, right? So part of your activity last Monday is actually on the board account method. Para na napod mo idea gamay as to what will be our next discussion. So let's start. Okay. So apportionments and voting. So let's start with the plurality method of voting. So in the plurality method of voting, each voter votes for one candidate and the candidate with the most votes wins. The winning candidate does not have to have the majority of the votes. So for example, a newly opened restaurant asked their first 50 customers to rank the food they served according to their preferences. So upat ka food ilang i-rank. So 10 votes were given to first place sa grilled tuna, first place, second place sa adobo, third place sa pansit gisado, fourth place sa chicken barbecue. 7 pud ka buok ang naghatag og first place sa adobo, second place sa grilled tuna, third place sa pansit gisado, and fourth place sa chicken barbecue. 18 ang naghatag og first place sa chicken barbecue, second place sa pansit gisado, third place sa grilled tuna, and fourth place sa adobo. And 15 give first place vote sa chicken barbecue, second place sa grilled tuna, third place sa adobo, and fourth place sa pansit gisado. From here, we are going to take a look at the first place votes. Now, for the pansit gisado, 7 people gave first place votes to adobo, sorry. For pansit gisado, wala siya first place vote. So that is why 0. Kanang sa last column. Sa grilled tuna, 10 kabuok ang naghatag of first place votes. Then for chicken barbecue, 18 plus 15. So that's a total of 33. Over 50 customers gave first place votes for the chicken barbecue. So making chicken barbecue as the most preferred food in that newly opened restaurants. So that's how you do with plurality method of voting. Now let's proceed to board account method of voting. So if there are n candidates or issues in an election, each voter ranks the candidates or issues by giving n points to the voter's first choice. So kung naay 5 ka-choices, ang first place will be given 5 points, second place 4 points, third place 3 points, fourth place 2 points, and the last place will have 1 point. So that is with board account method. Pero there are also times that the point systems were already assigned. So for example, for the first place vote, you give 10 points. For the second place, you give 8 points. For the third place, you give 5 points. And for fourth place, you give 2 points. So ingana siya, depende siya. Now, to further illustrate the board account method, let us have this example. The board of directors of a company would have to decide on what investment plan will they have to invest the company extra money. So 12 voters gave first place to B, second place to C, third place ka A. 3 voters gave first place ka C, second place ka B, third place kang A. 10 voters gave first place ka A, second place kang C, third place kang B. Now, how to do with board account method? Now, in the board account method class, again, reverse ang point system. So if you get first place votes and there are only 3 of you who are competing, so you automatically get 3 points. Nasabtan ninyo? So the ranking, reverse ang iyang point system. So if you are 5, if there are 5 competing competitors, the first place votes gets 5 points automatically, and then decreasing na din na siya, paubos na din siya until sa last place. Now this is what happens. So for investment A, So 3 times 10. Okay. 3 points were given to the first place and there are 10 voters. And then 12 plus 3 na dayon for rank 3. So 1 point naman na. So you have 1 times 15, so that's 15. So 30 plus 15 is equal to 45. For investment B, you have 12 points for rank 1, so that's 3 times 12. 3 votes for rank 2, so that's 2 times 3. And then 10 votes for rank 3, though, that's 1 times 10, so that's 36 plus 6 plus 10, so that's 52. And lastly, for investment C, so that's, sorry. So that's second place, duha ka bug second place, so that's 15 total number of votes times 2, so that's 30. Sorry, second place man no, so that's 22. Sorry. 12 plus 10, that's 22 times 2 points. So that's, saan naman po? Sorry. So 22 times 2 points, so that's 44. And then, isa na yun ka first place, so that's 3 points times the voters, so that's 9. So 44 plus 9, so that's 53. So the one with the highest points or votes is equal to investment C. Before we proceed, any question, di Anhi? Any question? Or nasabtan ninyo ang process sa board account method? Okay ra? Bali, ang number of votes, i-multiply lang ninyo siya sa points niya, not the rank. Because the rank will determine the points, but the points ang atuang i-multiply sa number of votes. Okay? Sabtan ra? Okay ra? Wala question? Okay. Kung wala, let's proceed. So, plurality with elimination. So, this method is a variation of the plurality method in which we will consider the voters' alternative choices. So, the term elimination, so meaning mag-eliminate ta. Okay? So, we will have again the same set of example. Now, by looking at the first place votes nila, C actually has the lowest first place vote. So, C ang i-eliminate nato first, leaving A and B sa ato ang i-consider. Now, kay duha na lang man sila, atong i-convert ilang points into rank 1 and rank 2. Depende sa makadaog or higher rank. So, for B, since B and versus A for the first column, so that's 1 versus 3. So, B gets the first rank, A gets the second rank. For the second column, you have 2 versus 3. So, 1 first rank sa B, second rank tapos sa A. Sa last column, A versus B. So, 1 versus 3. So, investment A gets the first rank, investment B gets the second rank. By adding the first place votes for B, B gets 15 points, whereas A gets only 10 points. So in other words, using this method, investment B wins. Question. I'll give you 1 minute. Kasi na may mga question. Question, clarification. Okay. Tanawon na to ilang rank. Ay, kani sa second table. Okay, thank you. Let's just focus only sa investment A and B. So, i-compare na to ilang rank. Kaya dapat, paabot sa second table, dapat 1 and 2 na lang ang mga values, anak. First and second rank na lang. Kaya kung napuntanawon, ang first place na pod. So, A versus B. Rank A receives the third rank, rank B receives the first rank. So, the OC, B. So, B gets the first rank, B, A gets the second rank. The second column, second rank versus third rank. So, second rank si B, third rank si A. So this time, rank B still gets the first rank, investment B gets the second rank. On the last column, investment A gets the first rank, investment B gets the third rank. So since A wins, A gets the first rank, B gets the second rank. So if you are going to add the number of votes nga naka-first place sila, for B you have 12 and 3, so that's 15. For A you have only 10. So in this scheme or in this method, B kira magpayo, nasabtan, magpayo. Okay. So let's continue. So pairwise comparison voting method. So how we eliminate this time, we'll have head-to-head match-up. So it is compared one-on-one with each of the other candidate. So candidate receives 1 point for a win. Kung makadaog ang candidate, 1 point. Kung tie sila, 0.5 ang ihatag. Kung 0, kung loss ang kuan candidate. So using same gihapon nga example, by the way, before we proceed. So according to Condorcet criterion, a candidate who wins all possible head-to-head match-up should win an election when all candidates appear on the ballot. Anyway, using same set of example. First, let us compare A to B. So A versus B. So sa first column, sa 12 votes, B wins. So that's 12 points for B. The second column, B wins. So that's another 3 points for B. Sa last column, 10 points kang A, kang B, wala. So mo nang dianhi, A is preferred over B by 10 points, whereas B is preferred over A by 15 points. Next, A versus C. So 2 versus 3. So 12 points for C. 1 versus 3. So another 3 points for C. 3 votes, sorry. 1 versus 2. So 10 points for A. So A is preferred over C by 10 votes. C is preferred over A by 15 votes. And lastly, we have B over C. So 1 versus 2. So 12 points for, 12 votes for B. 2 versus 1. So C wins, 3 votes for C. 2 versus 3. So C wins, so another 10 points for C, or 10 votes. So B is preferred by 12 votes over C, whereas C is preferred by 13 votes over B. So if we are going to summarize, A versus B, B wins, B gets 1 point. A versus C, C gets wins, so C gets 1 point. B versus C, so C wins, C gets 1 point, another 1 point. So C wins. So question. Question. Nasabtan ra, head-to-head match-up. So, still, i-compare ni mo ilang rank. Kung kinsa mo daog sa rank, siya ang makakuha sa vote. Ana lang siya. Then you add. Kung kinsang higher, of course, siya ang winner. Ana nga match-up. So, if you're going to, kung point system pa, si B nakakuha 1 point, pero si C nakakuha 2 points na sa head-to-head match-up. So, therefore, using this method, C wins. Now, we have here the fairness criteria. So, majority criterion. So, the candidate who receives a majority of the first place votes is the winner. Monotonicity criterion says if a candidate or if candidate A wins an election, then candidate A also wins the election if the only change in the voters' preferences is that supporters of a different candidate change their votes to support candidate A. Condorcet criterion, so a candidate who wins all possible head-to-head match-ups should win an election when all candidates appear on the ballot. So independence of a relevant alternative says that if a candidate wins an election, the winner should remain the winner in any recount in which losing candidates withdraw from the race. Arrow impossibility theorem says that there is voting method involving three or more choices that satisfy all four fairness criteria. So these are just criterion, these are not method. So muna yung mga criteria na to. So this time, we will proceed to weighted voting system. So we'll have the quota, the weight of the voters vote, coalition, winning coalition, and critical voter. So excuse guys, I have to drink water lang for a while. Okay, so let's continue. So a weighted voting system of n voters is written as Q W sub 1 to W sub n. Kanang W sub 1 to W sub n plus, muna siya ang weight. Example, si Angelica has, yung weight is 50 votes. Then Nathaniel have 55 votes. So, nga na ba? Meaning, ilahang control nga number of votes. Muna yung ginatawag na itong weights. Ang Q, muna nga ito ang quota or target value nga ma-achieve. So the weight of a voter is the number of votes controlled by the voter. Also, quota is the required number of votes to pass. So this notation can describe various voting system. So we have one vote, one person, one vote. So meaning each person has one vote and a majority is required to pass a measure. Dictatorship is when even the other voters are present, the sum of their votes does not met the quota. Null system is when even all the members vote, but still the sum does not met the quota. And then veto power system is when each vote has a veto power, that is everyone should vote for a measure to pass. So number of possible coalitions of n voters. So kung na example, 3 voters in a system, na tagsa-tagsaan nila nani mga weights. So for example, kung naay tulo ka voters sa system, ang number of possible coalitions na pwede na mo mabuhat is 2 to the n, meaning 2 cube, meaning that's 8 minus 1, 2 cube is 8 minus 1, so that's 7. So A, B, A, C, A, B, A, C, A, D, A, B, C, dayon A, B, C. So nga na, tagtinagtagsa, duha-duha, dayon, tulo na dayon. So that's the possible coalition. So a coalition is a set of votes, each of whom votes the same way. A winning coalition is a set of voters, the sum of whose votes is greater than the quota. And a losing coalition is a set of voters whose votes is less than the quota. The critical voter is the voter who leaves a winning coalition and turns it into a losing coalition. So for example, in this case, we have 521 as our quota. Then we have A, 408, B, 230, C, 102, and D, 300. Muna yung mga weights nila. For A, 408 ka votes. B, 230 ka votes. C, 102 ka votes. And D, 300 ka votes. Now, so for the coalition of A and B, so meaning ang combined number of votes nila is 638. So that's 408 plus 230. So ang ilang coalition is a winning coalition. simply because ang total number of votes nila is greater than the quota ng 521. But, excuse me, both of them are critical voters. Excuse me. Because if A leaves the system, leaving B nga 230 ka votes ra, so dili siya makaabot sa quota. If B leaves the system, leaving A nga 408 ra ka votes iyang gidala, so dili gihapon siya kaabot sa quota. So in other word, either B or A or both A and B are critical voter. Another example is we have A, B, and C. So only A and B are critical voters. Why? If A leaves the system, 230 plus 102 is 332. So dili siya makamet sa quota. If B leaves the system, 408 plus 102 is 510. So dili gihapon siya kaabot sa quota. If C lives, okay lang. Because A and B can still, or the coalition of A and B still um, is greater than the quota. So pwede ra siya. Makahalag wala ang C. So C is not a critical voter. For A, B, C, and D, none of them is a critical voter. If one of them leaves the coalition, the leaving vote still achieves the desired quota. And then lastly, we have the Banzaf power index. So computed using UPI of V, which is equal to the number of times a voter B is a critical voter over the number of times any voter is a critical voter. So for example, we consider 2 as our quota, 1, 1, 1 as the votes of A, B, and C, or the weights of A, B, and C in a one person, one vote system. So the winning coalitions are A, B, A, C, A, B, C, and A, B, and C. So the number of votes are 2, 2, 2, and 3. So the critical voters for AB, so you have still AB, for AC, AC. For BC, we have BC. For ABC, wala. And then BPI of A is equal to 2 over 6, so we have 0.33. BPI of B is 2 over 6 still, that's 0.33. BPI of C is 2 over 6, that's approximately 0.33. So in this case, each voter has equal power. Question.
Ma'am, pag musobra lugar siya, ma'am, dili lugar siya kuan, ma'am. Kana for example ang ABC, ma'am, nganong nan siya, ma'am, nilso.
Walay critical voter sa ilaha. Kay kung muhawa si B ay si A, ang si B o si C makaabot gyapon sa quota. Muhawa si B, A o C makaabot gyapon sa quota. Muhawa si C ay muhawa si A, si B o si C makaabot gyapon sa quota. So manang wala sa ilaha ang critical voter.
Ma'am, ngano ganing 6 ang denominator nila, ma'am?
Okay, so going back sa formula, number of times any voter is a critical voter. So kapila, any of them, kapila sila na himong critical voter. So si A kaduha, si B kaduha, si C kaduha.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
Unsa pa? Question. Unsa pa? Questions? Wala na, nasabta na? Okay. So, nag-post na ko ha o sa inyong PowerPoint presentation karon. And then please attach your PowerPoint presentation for this afternoon research title proposal. Huh? So I think we'll start now with the first group for your title proposal.
Mag-present pud mi ma'am ba? Amo
Yes,
i-present dire.
yes.
Okay.
So kamo na mag-present karon.
Kita ninyo ma'am.
Yes.
Right. Sama mo.
So good na, ma'am.
Yes, you can start.
So good afternoon,
Ako mag-off cam ha. Ako mag-off cam.
Okay, ma'am. So good afternoon, everyone. We are the Group 1, and we are here today to present our title proposal and the reason why we choose this topic. Okay. We all have been affected by the current COVID-19 pandemic. However, the impact of the pandemic and its consequences are felt differently depending on our status as individuals and as members of society. COVID 19 is killing people on a large scale because most of us are being infected on the virus. That is why healthcare providers come up to create vaccines, which this will help ourselves to fight against the virus. And we are encouraged to take vaccines so that the world will be back to normal again. From this text, we came up to the idea of having this study, which entitled Number of Willingness of First Year. Next, agad.
Ay, dili ga next.
Wala.
Wait, sorry. Wait, ako na lang magbalik og present ha, entire na ako, kadala lang. For a while lang ma'am ha, kajut lang jud mo. Okay. Isa. Ana makita na, guys?
Makita na.
Okay, sige go.
From the text that I have read, we come up to this study which entitled Number of Willingness of First Year Pharmacy to Take COVID-19 Vaccination in Liceo de Cagayan University, Cagayan de Oro City.
So the objective for this study is to know how many first-year college pharmacies in Liceo de Cagayan University is prepared and ready to take the COVID-19 vaccination. So we choose this study under the topic of COVID vaccination, which we particularly come up with this title, which is the number of willingness of first-year pharmacy to take COVID-19 vaccination in Liceo de Cagayan University, Cagayan de Oro City. Because we all know and we can see in this modern times where we encounter this COVID pandemic, we must take COVID, we must get vaccinated. However, there are people or certain people who refuse to get vaccinated because of various reasons, such as like kesyo masumbi daw sila or mamatay ra daw sila dali, or they cannot survive. So we prefer this study in order for us to determine how many people are willing to take the vaccination, and um, how many people refuse to take the vaccination, particularly in the first year College of Pharmacy in Liceo de Cagayan University. So we choose this as first year College of Pharmacy is our respondent. So in conducting our research, our respondents is, we have this limitation because it is feasible for us if we choose this first year College of Pharmacy as our respondents, because of course if mag-conduct may kuan like population of Cagayan de Oro, it is very kanang impractical and kuan siya like, although it is possible, but we don't have much time to conduct for it. So thus COVID vaccination is important or not for the first year College of Pharmacies. So that's all. Huh?
So that's it, ma'am. Thank you for giving your interest and attention. This is Althea Marie Bisalvano from under Group 1 from Pharmacy 1D.
Yes, ma'am. So do you have any questions, ma'am, about our proposal?
Maybe part ano kung sayang lang jud kay dili man gud ta ka data collection, kung sobra man gud ta sa objectives, di ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Introduction,
Yes, ma'am.
objectives, statement of significance, then scope, and then we'll have research local and statistical tools. Sayang lang kay dili ta ka data collection. Pero dapat one point po natong i-take into consideration is actually um, ang effect po sa social media, no? Usahay.
Yes, ma'am.
And ang type po sa vaccine. Particular kay mga tao sa type sa vaccine nga turok sila. Kabantay mo, it's the brand. Ang brand ang
Yes,
ilahang
ma'am.
ginabasihan. So, muna usay, daghan kay nagulat actually sa mga brands from US.
Like Pfizer,
Which
ma'am,
is
di sila
actually a
ganan Sinovac
reality.
kay gikan sa
Yes.
China.
Oh, yes. So that's a reality. Okay, that's how relevant your topic would this. Okay. So thank you, Group 1. We'll proceed to Group next.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for
Thank you, ma'am.
allowing us to
Thank you,
report.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Kanta,
ma'am.
kanta pa daw si Luis.
Masaya pa si Kuan.
Masaya pa daw si Jelfa, ma'am.
Okay, Group 2.
May I request my group to open their cam? Kaya ako rin open og cam. Ano? Si Francis, and then how about the others?
Go Bele!
Kuya Danilo, and okay na siguro ni.
We
Okay.
love
Go
you.
Belly.
Okay, I'll start. Can I start now, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, ma'am. So we are the second group for the research paper that consists 7 members. That would be me, Veli Pichkay Lumba, Daphne Siniza Legson, Rona May Reyes, Geraldine K. Awit, Kuya Danilo Katuran, Francis Troy Sundo, and Harold J. Makapayag. Next slide, please. Okay. May I request Francis Troy to read the title or introduce the title?
Okay, so good afternoon, blockmates and So our title is The Study on the Coping Mechanisms of College Students Towards the New Normal Education Setup. And for the next slide, can you?
So why did we choose this topic? The proposed topic was majority preferred by all. We have chosen this topic since we target an issue or event that all of us students, us college students, not only me and my group mates, but as well my co-blockmates that can relate to. Due to the pandemic, all education systems worldwide have been shuttered, affecting students, teachers, and institutions. The abrupt change from a physical to a virtual lecture. This research aimed to assess students' perceptions of academic stress and their coping mechanisms. Many students had to engage in the anxiety of academic failure and adjust to the online environment. Students are dealing with negative thoughts that go by having depression, anxiety, overthinking, and so much more. This topic is necessary to comprehend how college students will cope with their challenges. In our opinion, it is essential to discuss unique ways on how college students cope with academics, especially during this time of new normal standard of learning due to the situation. So, the thought is already there, ma'am. Do you have any questions, or do the other students have any questions with our topic, ma'am?
Okay, so this is actually very relevant no sa ato ang panahon karon kay it's not only students who are affected with this new normal. Even we teachers are very affected.
Exactly,
Okay,
ma'am.
we have to convert all our aids among mga notes into kanang platform nga ani na, no? Kung sa una naanad ra ko mag-notes lang, magdala ra ko isa ka band paper sa classroom, humana na ako ang kuan. Karon I have to prepare everything kay kailangan ako siya i-convert
Na
using Google
presentation,
Forms, use yun, presentation tanan, di ba?
dagan og
Yes, ma'am.
adjustment.
Sa una, gradual pa na ako masulat ang formula, pero karon disud kay mag-gradual ang formula. Kay hako kayo na. Imagine, kailangan nimo tagsa-tagsahon and you have to explain each of those things. So, this is actually very relevant to our situation. Okay, again, dili ra students ang affected, pati kami as teachers. So, thank you, Group 2, for a
Thank you,
very
ma'am.
relevant
Thank
topic.
Thank you,
you.
ma'am.
Thank
Would
you,
you proceed to
ma'am.
Group 3? Yes, Sundo?
Tuplukan na to, tuplukan na.
Okay.
So, okay na, miss. Start na.
Yes, you can start.
Okay, good afternoon,
Students,
everyone.
ay wait. Visible ra ang presentation? Okay, okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are the Group 3, and for our research title for today is The Perception of Liceo de Cagayan University, PS Pharmacy 1D Students on Administering Adult Vaccines. And at this juncture, may I call on Mr. Mejos to present the reasons why we chose this research topic.
Thank you, Kiana. Good afternoon, ma'am, and good afternoon, classmates. Me and my group mates derived this topic for its relevance and timeliness. And we all know that vaccination program of the government has been a controversy in the present times. So for the reasons and objectives, next slide, please. Next slide. Hello? Next slide.
Piero, next slide down.
Mr. Mark. So firstly, it will serve as a baseline data regarding the perception of Liceo de Cagayan University PS Pharmacy 1D students on administering adult vaccines. And second, nowadays, a lot of teenagers are very hesitant to acquire the adult vaccine. With this topic, the researchers can know reasons why some students wouldn't and would receive the vaccine. Thirdly, the researchers can compel the non-vaccinated individuals to be fully vaccinated based on the recommendations and findings of the study. And lastly, over the years, vaccinations or vaccines have generated some controversy over safety, but no convincing evidence of harm has been found. With this research topic, the analysts can procure the perception of Liceo de Cagayan University BS Pharmacy 1D students on administering adult vaccines. Vaccines are some of the safest and most effective medicines we have. And for the updates of the vaccination program of the government, we already now in the 24.3 million fully vaccinated Filipinos, and that is only 22.2% of the population as a whole. And that would be all. Thank you.
Pila to? 22.4 million, mga 22 million. Out of
24.3 million, ma'am.
out of target.
Target population, ma'am.
Adult pa man, di ba? 18 and
Yes,
above.
ma'am. Adult pa, ma'am. And it was announced recently that they began the rollout
24
for
times.
12 to 17 years old vaccination, ma'am.
Pila ka percent na? 24 million?
24.3 million, ma'am, and percent is 22.2% of the population. Only 22.2.
Oh, okay na na. This 100 million ang target.
Yes, ma'am.
That's din atong target. So including 18 years old and above. So my question is, are most of you vaccinated already?
I guess most of us are vaccinated, ma'am. Here, I think.
Come on, Mark, Devin. Vaccinated na ba
Ma'am,
ni?
I am fully vaccinated po.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes po, fully vaccinated, ma'am.
Me too, ma'am.
Okay. So, siguro, ang sunod na, I was like looking at sa kay perception na po ani puhon nga sa online face-to-face, no? Limited pa ba na? Limited face-to-face?
I guess.
Do you have your
Yes,
laboratory?
limited.
First year pharmacy students, do you have your laboratory right now? Nag-start na ba mo or wala pa?
What do you mean laboratory, ma'am?
Laboratory like
Subjects.
laboratory subjects nga limited.
Online?
Online pa tanan so far, ma'am.
I think they'll start by third year,
Next
third
sem.
sem.
So it's very important to get vaccinated mo. Para pag limited face-to-face ninyo,
Yes,
at
ma'am.
least
There
like,
is
so,
immunity.
na immunity gamay.
Yes.
So may kabalo with. So dili kay ko kuan medyo scientific ayo na siya, so dili ko comment. Okay. So
Yes.
thank you group 3, no, perceptions on vaccinations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So let's proceed to group 4. Dili ba good lalim ang decision magpa-vaccine, right? At kamo sa inyo ha, sa man pag mo sa government na pa-vaccine, automatic na pa-vaccine na dayon mo or na pa mo mga hesitancy. I'll ask Mark Nadiaro and then Awit.
Ma'am?
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you have some hesitancy? Napo po yung mga hesitancy pag mo sa government na pa-vaccine?
Ako, ma'am, personally, wala.
Diretso lang.
Kung ang question, ma'am, nag-hesitate ba ako? Yes, ma'am. Kung ang question, nag-hesitate ba ako magpa-vaccine, ma'am? Wala, since mas maka-better mag-good, ma'am.
Okay, mas maka...
Lalo na ma'am kami, ma'am, nami family business, we need to, ma'am, manage ma'am good.
Okay, ang handok manggod kay ang... of course, ang uban magud ang hesitancy sa uban kang effect, di ba? Awit, na-hesitancy sa imong part on the vaccination.
Wala pa ko ga-vaccine.
Wala pa di ka ka-vaccine, sorry. So, partly because mahadlok ang uban sa effect ang good ang after ba.
Smooth na nang na mga kuan mga sakit.
Comorbidity.
Lagi, you cannot force them ang good. Munang medyo slow pa kita to ang rate of ang atong rate sa medyo taas naman taron no as compared sa unang murag inilugay yun og vaccine karon murag
Yes, ma'am.
readily available na gyud kay siya, di ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's proceed to group 4. Group 4. Group 4 versus group 4.
Ma'am, wait lang murag they have technical issues ma'am mag-communicate sa ako ma'am. Ha?
Sige, proceed lang sa ta sa group 5
Okay ma'am.
para na
Update.
makatag time sa ina. Group 5, please. Sige, kay wala pa po sila ka-attach actually. Sa puan ilahang PowerPoint presentation.
Nakita na po. Nakita na. Ayun.
Yes.
Nakira na.
Pero medyo
Nakita na po. Yun.
yes.
Okay, so good afternoon everyone. Good afternoon, Ma'am Stephanie. I am Nathaniel Pastoriza. I am the presenter for a group and I am the I assume leadership for this group. So, good afternoon once again. Uh, I'm going to present our PowerPoint presentation regarding our research proposal. So first, let me first introduce my group members. So first, we have Baroro Jana Charlene V, Belisario Dexter P, Helena Fritzy KC, Hilal Siti China P, Nakila Karen Luis M, and me, Pastoriza Nathaniel Cesar P. So, our research title is Students' Experiences of the Distance Learning Program, Its Advantages and Disadvantages. So, even though the learning setup made its advent 1 year or so ago, we cannot deny that it is still relevant and timely up to today, no? What is more, even though the schools are slowly transitioning to face-to-face classes, the effects of distance learning are still imprinted on students, that is, their ability to learn and their overall performance. So, online learning has been changing the face of the education system for quite some time, as said before. And it also dramatically affects the students' academic performance. As such, despite the advantages of better technology, no? The technology we have today, such as laptops, computers, mobile gadgets, and papers as learning tools, the disadvantages, for example, bad internet connection and different learning styles, cannot be overlooked. There is no way to compare the learning experiences of face-to-face and online classrooms because they are so different. However, in line with this, the proposed topic was voted by the majority of the group members among the other presented topics. With that said, the study aims to determine and project the advantages and disadvantages of flexible distance learning implemented in Liceo de Cagayan University. Furthermore, the proposed paper also aims to, first, determine the effectiveness and advantages of the instructional techniques imposed in Liceo de Cagayan University. Second, assess the impact of distance learning on the academic performance of college students enrolled in the institution of Liceo de Cagayan University for the school year 2021-2022. Third, determine the disadvantages of distance learning based on student experiences. Fourth, fourth, recognize the effects of distance learning on students' mental health. Fifth, identify the problems encountered by students in terms of learning paraphernalia or the equipment they have in their home. And lastly, for the sake of comparison po, ma'am, no, compare the information retention or the level of retention that students have compared in traditional face-to-face classes and the setup we have now, the online distance learning, no? According to their experiences. Now the last thing we have for this proposed topic is to conduct this research to help students and other future researchers who will use this report or the report if ever we will gather information or data, but I think na sa future natataman na yun as their reference in the future. So that's all po. I hope that you understood and you understood my presentation or our presentation. Thank you.
So thank you, Group 5. So your group, your group, no, you are actually the senior high school, or kamo no ang senior high school naka-experience of distance learning? Oh, distance learning na ba during your senior high school last year? Your senior high school, right?
Yes. Kuan lang ma'am, grade 12.
Oh, lagi last year sa inyong senior high school.
Dili ma'am, ano, ang first ata kay katong sa kanya karon no? Ay ang first naka-experience of online learning ma'am?
Kamo ang first. Kay ang second year karon sila ang first year nga nagka-start og distance learning. Sakto ba?
Oo ma'am, sila ma'am.
So,
Yes,
so kamo ang senior high school nga ni-graduate using distance learning and distance graduation. So, muna siya nga picture-picture, di ba? Di ba? So, grabe yun ang effect ni COVID. So, di ba, grabe ka, daghan jud kayo taog ma-learn usahay sa mga experiences nato, especially in this time of pandemic. So, mogan pod ganiha, nag-talk pod me about social media usage. So, grabe ang as compared daw to last year, mas grabe gyud daw ang social media usage karon. Mo nang grabe ang procrastination sa mga kuan sa usahay sa mga academic requirements. Grabe ang procrastinate because of social media. So, nga na, no, grabe yun ang effect ng COVID. So, thank you, Group 5, for choosing this topic. So, we'll proceed. Nana ba ang Group 4? Nana ba ang Group 4? Are you ready? Group 4, where are you? Group 4. Unsay update, Miss Ilumba? Sa Group 4.
Ma'am, gaas pa ko ma'am kay what they have said earlier kay si Fatima Hadman, wala daw sila kuryente. So, wala,
Okay.
ga-chat pa ko ma'am. Wala pa sila ni-respond at the moment.
Just inform them. I will just give them time on Thursday before we start our quiz na lang. I
Okay,
will
ma'am.
just, ako lang i-remind dali ha, group
Okay,
for
ma'am.
Parwandi.
I'll relay the message, ma'am.
Okay. So, please study well ha for your quiz on Thursday. Identification and computation. Daily multiple choice. Okay? So, God bless everyone and enjoy your weekends, taas kayong weekend, and your holidays. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Goodbye,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you,
Take care.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye po. God bless.
Thank you, ma'am.
Goodbye.